Hey, good day. I'm just here to show you a little bit about this very cool application here for iPhone called GrooveClix. I'm just going to launch it right here. And GrooveClix is this pretty awesome metronome that is really packed with a lot of different kinds of features. And it does stuff like you might expect. You can turn that off there. You can select whatever tempo that you want and then press go. And you hear an accented click and all that stuff like you would expect. It works just like you ought to should. And you can select your click sound in either pitched format or in regular. So you can have an accented thing with a different sound for accented. I'm just going to go back to the classic here, or cowbell here, shall we say. It's pretty, there's a lot of different sounds in there. And the pitch clicks is really interesting. If you're playing in a particular key, then you can match up the sound of the click and the accent to actually be in very consonant with the music that you're playing. But I got to tell you, the real groovy thing, maybe I'll wait to say the groovy thing about the grooves, but I'm going to show you here in the settings. You hit the little wheel here. GrooveClix will play either in mono or stereo. You can turn a flashlight on and off so that on the downbeat, or rather on the beginning of each bar, it'll actually flash the flashlight on your iPhone. So even if you're on stage in the dark, you can see exactly what tempo it is that you're going to be doing here. Haptic feedback means that you can actually feel it in your hand when you move the dial around, and it's just touch feedback. And what's really cool is if you're it has an equalizer, so you can equalize, get just the tone that you want on your click sound and on your grooves. But anyway, I can't wait to talk about the grooves, because the grooves are really what makes this. If you have actually what you're seeing here is basically the free version of the app, but for a very small amount of money each month, you can subscribe to either a pro or a light subscription, and you can get the Groove Engine to come on. And the Groove Engine lets you do some pretty amazing things. So you'll notice that right off the bat, there's a regular click volume, and then there's the groove volume. So I'm going to turn off the regular click volume, and I'm just going to go. That's kind of cool. And then you have all these different groove sounds to choose from. And of course, you have multiple time signatures as well, which is really cool. Some of the groove presets go up to 15. So if you want to practice your Genesis, you can do 7/8 or 9/8 or 13/8 or whatever you want. And of course, you can do it in eighths as well, if I can get in there, or 16ths. But 4s are usually enough to suffice. And there's all these different groove banks that are cool. And some of them, there's a sneak peek here. It's just really neat. And you notice up here you have 16th notes, 8th notes, or triplets. So you can have a groove with a 16th feel like this, an 8th note feel, or triplet. And this really helps you play immensely when you're actually playing to a groove. It's quite a bit different than just going tick, 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 tick. But if you want to, you can, of course, have the combination of, if I double click that, hang on a minute, there it is. You can set the volume of either one to get just the kind of blend that you want. And so that's all right. We're swinging now. But let's say if I wanted to cop a feel for a certain song, and I wasn't quite sure what the tempo was. You can actually do this. You can actually listen, and I'll go, and that's determined. That's 180 beats a minute. But it's pretty cool when you actually hold this up to a speaker as a song is playing, and it goes, yeah, that's 128 or something like that. Very, very cool. Or if you want, you can just tap, sort of like you would with a tap metronome, or a tap delay rather. And one of the best features in this is that you can do this thing called the tempo lab. And if you're a drummer, this is absolutely amazing, because you can start, like, let's say we'll start at 132 beats a minute, and we'll go up to maniacal 206 beats a minute, adding 2 beats a minute every bar. So you can be practicing your rudiments, and I'll put it into the mode there, and you go click. And you can see that it gradually increments. It's very, very flexible. And so you can if there are some banks here that are especially for drummers, and these are very, very cool. These are expansion banks called mega diddles, and these give you all your drum rudiments. That you can play, and you're going to be buddy rich by the time you're done with that. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to turn that mode off, and now we're back to regular operation. An amazing thing that you have here if you're doing live shows is you can go into the user library, and you can capture the state of any groove. Like, let's say if I wanted to capture that, I'll just go save, and I'm going to call that, oh, woof, just for fun. And I'm going to save that, and then when I go up to my user bank here, that's going to appear, and that's from my master list. So I'm going to go and edit this list. I'm going to add woof to that, and now that's a part of my set list. So you can go song number 1 all the way down to, there's your set. And oh, let's see, I want to have that come second, so you can drag that around. So if you're a drummer and you're playing a lot of complicated stuff, and you kind of tend to get excited at gigs, as let's face it, we all do, you can have this, and it'll be just blinking for you on stage. You can get an instant reference of what the tempo is that you're supposed to be counting off on, and all your bandmates will go, my gosh, the guy's a human metronome. It's pretty cool. So there are a bunch of I've actually bought all the expansion banks, which are mega diddles, and the Accents Pro are the ones that you can buy. And the rest of them are available when you actually purchase a subscription. And so even if you don't subscribe, it's a brilliant free metronome. And if you do subscribe and you dive into all these features, this is going to make you, well, plain and simple, a much better player. And you can use it with AirPods. Actually, anything that AirPlay can talk to, you can put the sound out to, which is really kind of cool. I think I've gone through almost all the features here. Groove library, you can change your click sounds for the accent and the regular things. You have a count off function, so if you're going to be practicing your rudiments, you can count off 4 beats before it actually goes into the loop. And gosh, I'm trying to think. There's just so much packed into this thing. Subscriptions are really inexpensive, and if you use them and dive into all the features, you're just going to be a much better musician than you were when you started. It's as simple as that. Anyway, hope that clears it up. This is GrooveClix, and it's a little bit of a, shall we say, a basic video, but this gets all the points across. I really hope that you enjoy it as much as I've been enjoying it. So carry on and stay groovy.